Hey, howdy, folks, and welcome to Never Split the Party. Happy Halloween for folks in a time zone where it's the appropriate day. Sure, that's a thing.
We don't hate other time zones anymore.
You
Apparently,
see, we're being more accepting of time zones. Sorry. We are here streaming the next episode. We're not doing anything particularly fun for Halloween. The horror being that you are stuck with this cast for another couple hours, and that's enough. And I'm going to do a really brief recap of last episode and set us up to where we are now. After I give any announcements, if we have any shared announcements. And I think that's it, because I'm really cold in my basement for some reason, and I'm not sure why.
Because basements are cold?
My basement's usually not that cold, man. All right. Do we have any announcements for the chat or anything in particular?
I got nothing.
I have an announcement.
Sure, Pat, shoot.
From now on, we'll decide whether we have announcements before announcing announcements.
Well, I have a standing announcement. If you guys, I know we're not participating it with this channel this year. Keep an eye open for Awesomeness Dude's channel. That's Nick Brawl for this stream, participating in Extra Life. And also, I've been pitching pretty hard Cosmic Crit, a Starfinder podcast, Extra Life. Take a quick look through. If Chris has a moment, I'm sure he'll post the link to chat like I've asked him to every time because I'm that annoying. And support other Starfinder streaming groups out there. Definitely want to rep Starfinder because, you know, it's new and Extra Life is pretty awesome just in general. Nick, do you want to talk about Extra Life a little bit? Because I know you've participated before.
You want me to?
Or Chris, go for it.
All right. Extra Life is an organization.
I was muted.
Oh. So much volume, so fast.
I was like, wow, what a jerk. He cut me off. I was too busy trying to be a Nintendo Switch for Halloween.
So yes, Extra Life is a company that works through the Children's Miracle Network. And they work through children's hospitals, and you raise money, kind of like in a Facebook style. Like you go to this website, and it's laid out kind of like Facebook. You hit a donate button up at the top, and you know it kind of shows like who's donated, how much money. We get little notifications. We can call you out on stream and whatnot. But yeah, the people who are running the particular stream get to choose where to send the money to. I think me and Nick chose Boston's Children's Hospital in Boston.
Boston? We chose Boston's Children's Hospital in Delaware.
Yeah. But I think we're going to go for probably one of the more inner city stuff.
like not sobs this time.
This next time.
Not sobs Children's Hospital.
No.
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, that's about it.
So keep an eye out for Awesomeness Dude and Chris doing some stuff for that this year. And also Cosmic Crit is currently taking donations, and they've got a special episode launching in November based on how well they do donation-wise. And they're more of an audio podcast, so I don't mind trumping them because we do video, and I don't feel like we cross over at all. Star Called, I like you guys too, but I don't know if you're doing anything for Extra Life, so sorry. All right, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves then, please, and then we'll get into the recap for the I guess, 9th time, if this episode title is correct this time. My name is Dustin, also known as Arbitrary Nerd, and I am the GM for now and ever.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
We have an order.
Go next. My name is Patrick. I play Rai, or Reich. He is an envoy of the Lashunta race, and he is known for being incredibly handsome.
just because you say it every time doesn't make it true.
No, my 18 charisma does.
No, fair.
No, that just means people like you.
A little bit
Because
of
he's
column A, a
handsome.
little bit of column B.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're handsome. It could just be you speak well.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
know
wait,
Todd's
no, that's not
personality, so he must be
It's true.
real handsome.
All right. I am Michael, and I am playing Zero, who is a android operator.
With a lightsaber.
With a lightsaber.
Milla.
You know what? Just for fun,
Abigail. Priest.
2 lightsabers.
Priest. Spelled Price. I'm a Lashunta. No, I'm not a Lashunta. I'm a Yosoki.
Learn your character, Chris.
Dude, I have no idea. I just came home from work. I went for tips training. It sucked. But yeah, I'm a Yosoki mechanic.
I'm Nick. I play Brawl, who is a Isoki soldier. And he likes to punch things, especially when coming at them from the wrong direction.
There we go. I changed.
Kidneys. He's talking about kidneys.
Yes. I'm Justin. I'm playing Seeker, the android technomancer. Which I just did some technomancy to change our background again. Yay!
Whoa!
Version
Real
logo
life
7.2.
technomancy. And art.
I didn't know you could change the background in
art.
an audio podcast. Huh.
Yeah. Well, you know. Use your imagination, everybody.
All right.
Theater of the mind.
Yes, theater of the mind. Going forward with the recap. Let's see. Last episode, what did you knuckleheads do?
Set out in a cafe.
You did not get murdered by the half-orc gangster known as Dranar the half-orc. You guys kind of struck up a bit of a business deal, which, you know, I don't usually recommend dealing with gangsters, but you guys just never learn. And you guys ended up
may have a drug addict.
Oh, and Seeker might have participated in a new drug trial of sorts, but it turned out
A really expensive drug trial, but not for him.
it's all right, not so bad. Free trial, and you guys also managed to somehow get up to the upper levels by passing off as a group known as Raish Orin, which is unfortunate for the group. From there,
that's a great name to be associated with.
You guys managed to get into the upper tier of Pyramid Station Alpha, which is comprised of Central Dome, which is where you guys are all in currently, Ibrahim, and No. You guys have the next tier, which is, for the most part, just different contexts and a different style of dome, and you guys will maybe benefit from that in the future if you can figure out how to stay there, because right now your pass is only for 2 days. You you split up the party, of course, and we have Rye and Seeker in a little cafe doing Google research. And then we have the other folks, which is going to be Miller, Brawl, and Zero. Is that right? Is that just you three?
Yep.
That would be the rest of you. Makes sense. They decided to stop in a cafe, and I thought they were just trying to run down the time to piss me off. Turns out they were trying to get me to fast forward to the next scene. My bad. And we're going to pick up tonight's episode back over with Rye and Seeker, who just noticed that the bounty hunter Krellis is entering the cafe with which they are currently patronizing.
We're patronizing them?
Visiting. that they're currently visiting. Let's do that one.
And I believe I said something about it while
I was running away timidly.
Don't you remember? That was like a second ago.
Climbing under the table.
Yeah.
I'm bouncing from table to table with my tail tucked between my legs, but I don't
For the
have.
record, Lashunta do not have tails.
Yeah, correct. But
you do have antenna though.
It is worth clarifying. So as Rye is kind of crawling like low key under the table, Rye, could you roll me a stealth roll while you're doing that?
Absolutely, I can do that.
Seeker, what are you doing? You're just sitting at your table. Is there anything else
I have
you're
the
doing?
ability to do that. As soon as I look up what my ability score is, I can totally do that. 5. Boom. Not good.
I'm mostly just gonna be probably just sitting. Just sitting there trying not to be noticed. Just,
All right. So as you guys are doing this, I guess I should open up Roll20.
There's always one of you.
It's 13. He rolled a 13. So what happens is Krellis, who is a tall, imposing figure in full, elaborate, heavy body armor, with a variety of colors. We'll say that it's probably gray and shades of blue and a couple tints of red. Unique coloring, not necessarily referencing anything you guys are familiar with. Enters into the cafe, which I believe we named last time Version Delights, specializing in Verses style cuisine. The bounty hunter enters. The armor Seeker, could you give me a perception check real quick?
Okay. I think is it +1? I think it's +1. Yeah.
And let's see if his eyes jam.
They jam.
Eyes jam.
I rolled in that one.
All right, you don't notice anything, and I'm going to say that Rye is probably actively trying not to notice anything as he's making himself as small as possible. As
Yeah,
possible.
my thing is mostly I remember where he was walking, and I'm trying to get away from that where.
Yep, that's totally fine.
That way.
So you don't really notice anything special about the armor that I was going to divulge, so that's okay. And Krellis approaches your specific table, Seeker, and sits down next to you.
Next to me at the table.
Is somebody clipping something?
Nope.
No,
No.
I'm blowing my nose.
No, all right. I'm hearing like a clicking sound. It could be in my head. Seeker, what are you doing now that you have this imposingly large bounty hunter sitting next to you?
Okay, I can say, do you like Versian? Versian? Is that what you would say? Version? Is that
I'm
the
not
word?
really, sir. Go with it. Roll with it,
Okay.
man.
Do you like Virgin cuisine? I did not take you for a eater of sweets of this nature.
Krellis, without looking around, without directly acknowledging you, and speaking through a modulated voice in their helmet, says, actually, I'm sorry. Right, could I have you give me a perception check right now?
Yeah, I can do that. Hold on a minute. It's this plus this. It equals not a lot.
Could you give me the number for not a lot? Because I have 17 windows open.
Yeah, sure. 10.
Take your headphones out, please. Keep your eyes on the chat. I'll tell you when to put them back.
I don't like that.
Same for everyone. If everyone other than Seeker could take their headphones off and keep an eye on the Twitch chat, I'll let you know when to put them back on, okay? I should probably open up the video so I can see everyone with their headphones off. Headphones off, headphones off. Fantastic. Alrighty then. So what Krellis says, and Rye's unable to overhear it as he has a little Versite child poking him from under the table. Krellis says in this modulated voice, I almost didn't recognize you. New face, new hair, new voice. Almost a new you.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am but a simple artist.
Is it true you've joined up with a crew again? Aboard that ship in the Dead Dome?
Yes, that is true. I don't know what you mean by again, but yes.
Fine. Bounty was on the small side anyways. Krellis gets up to leave, walks towards the door, and as they get to the exit, they say, Cosmos won't ever stop looking for you, you know.
Understood.
Krellis walks out the door. Let's get everyone back in from chat. See how long it takes them to hear. I didn't think about the lag. Oh god, they're dancing.
I didn't like that at all.
So Nick still doesn't have his headset on because he's dancing. So I was actually watching Encounter Role Plays Pathfinder. I think it was Pathfinder this stream. Might have been D&D. Actually, they're on the D&D channel. Let's go with it was D&D they were streaming. And they did some sessions with like people had visions and they did the headphones off when you weren't watching. I liked it immensely and have borrowed it.
I think it's a good idea.
Rye, you witnessed just from the corner of your eye while a Versite child is poking you under the table. You notice they spend no more than maybe a minute or two sitting at the same table, Krellis and Seeker, before Krellis stands, goes to the end of the door, the exit of the cafe, seems to say something over their shoulder that you can't quite hear due to the ambient noise in the room, and then leaves the cafe.
Great. Okay. I would like to do a perception check to see if I find anything on the floor where I am right now.
Sure.
13.
Yeah, there's a little Versite child in front of you poking you.
What's a verse site?
Little small creature with like bulbous black eyes and native to Verces. I looked it up.
Adorable.
Okay. I reach into my pocket
Oh God.
and
I said child.
okay.
And never mind. Never mind.
I still I reach into my pocket and I pull out I pull out do we have like coins and whatnot? Like spare change coins, or is everything on cred sticks?
Everything's on cred sticks, but I'll say you have like a really cheap version that you keep. You can say it's a couple credits or something.
All right. So I reach into my pocket, I pull out the coins, and I go, found them, found my coins, which I dropped under the
In
table.
your pocket, mister?
No, they were not.
Oh.
Shut up, kid.
The kid scampers off.
Good. And then I just walk back. Yes, very important coins. Don't want to lose those.
Seeker speaks up. I thought we usually pay in cred sticks. In creds.
What's my motto?
I'm handsome.
The other one.
Seeker, you're nowhere near as good of an actor as me. I am the best.
I was going to say always be prepared, but that is good. That is good. I like that. I like that. So, what was that about?
What? Oh, that?
Yes.
Carlos? He thought he recognized me from somewhere, and I said no.
You guys have anything else to say? Because you guys are on the hook.
He came in here saying that he thought he recognized me, and I said, nope. He must be mistaken.
And he didn't say anything else on his way out?
Nope.
Over his shoulder?
Somebody was looking for me or something. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, you're not quite sure what he just said to you?
Because he's over there at the doorway, and it's loud in here.
I look up. Is he still there?
No, God, no. That's not what he meant.
Oh, okay. I was about to shrink right underneath the table again and drop the coin. So I say, all right. Well, doesn't matter. I start to try to channel my inner actor, my thespian, if you will. And I take on that annoying air of self-confidence that I get when I'm speaking about the theater. Well, Seeker, that's probably for the best. I do believe that we have a show that we would like to put on, and to put as much space as we can between us and that man who I know has no appreciation for the spoken word. We should just go now.
I agree.
Then let's do that. Okay.
Alrighty.
So you got the bill, right?
I'm gonna get you guys.
Walk out the door.
I'm gonna get you guys to the next bit, and then I'm gonna jump over to the other group to give them a chance. You guys know that Alden Stoyer, your patron of sorts, is the sector magistrate for Central East. I have recently decided that each dome is separated into 4 different sectors, cardinal directions: north, south, east, west, and they each have their own kind of little mini governors, and then each dome has a governor for the entire dome. He is the magistrate for the east sector. You got the address for his manor, which
Who is this? This is Alden Stoyer?
Yep.
Okay.
You've got the address for his manor, and you guys make it through without any issues. You guys make it through to his manor, which is compared to the other buildings around, which are kind of stay small, 1 to 2 story, suburb style with green lawns and sprinklers going off and organized tree allotment throughout this really organized dome. This guy's house is 3 stories, which almost feels ostentatious versus everything else around him. And it takes up the space of what would be maybe 3 separate houses that could have housed, 3 completely separate families on this dome, this part of the space station. And everything looks well manicured. There is a large, obvious entrance into the manor, very ornate. And that is where I'm going to leave you guys to figure out what you're going to do next, while I jump over to the other group made up of Brawl, Miller, and Zero, who just finished off of their own time at the Central Cafe. So they killed some time to make sure that their arrival into Central Dome and their going right to station security wasn't too suspicious. I'll say you guys killed a couple of hours at the cafe. You thoroughly appalled the cafe, the wait person, whatever they were doing, because you guys came from the lower domes. And you guys make your way to the very center of the dome, which has its own station security hub. Every dome at the center of the dome has some sort of station security hub. However, this one is easily the biggest one you've seen and is, in fact, the biggest one on Pyramid Station Alpha. Let's see if I can find it. Did I write any notes out for that? I probably did in my phone because I can't keep everything in one spot. Let's take a quick look. It's a modern, high-tech, towering structure that houses the main offices of Central Security, as well as several major corporations and political offices. There are, even now, constantly a stream of flying vehicles entering and exiting the structure. And this is an unusual sight for you guys because in the lower domes for the past month you've been there, the only vehicles you see are like the hover bikes that are used sparingly and honestly mostly by kind of the criminal elements. Otherwise, everything else is either like a cargo truck or some sort of construction work vehicle. No one drives in the lower domes. So the fact that there are flying vehicles just constantly entering this building is a bit of a new sight for you guys, at least on Pyramid Station Alpha. Let's take a look. The lowest level of this tower is devoted to the security hub for this dome. And it's the same style as the other domes, where it's just a police office of sorts, which has an attached jail and usually has some sort of room or two for hearings or grievances. The upper levels, you guys know either from what you've heard or Zero from your research, being the information broker that you are. The upper levels are devoted to higher ranking officers in station security. Some other kind of office space, maybe some storage spaces, which may be of interest to you guys or not. There's a longer term prison in this tower. And that section of the tower is only accessible by vehicle. And then for the upper levels, those aren't really relevant to you guys, and you probably haven't done too much research on that. But this tower is big. It basically, where everything else is 1 to 2 floors, this one tower rises up probably about like a straight mile into the air. It's almost hitting the top of the dome. It is the largest structure probably in all of Pyramid Station Alpha, although you guys obviously haven't seen the upper levels. This is going to be the biggest one.
All right. All right, guys. You know your plans? You know your roles? Just kind of go over real quick. Brawl, you're gonna just take a quick look on the outside, see if we can figure out any way to get inside from the outside. Right. And Hush, you're gonna take a look on the inside with me. You gotta kind of hang out in the lobby.
Yep.
All right.
Anyone else? I came here with you, and I'm just waiting here while you make your report.
Exactly. All right, let's do this.
So you guys are aiming to get into like the security hub itself, not the upper tower, correct?
Correct.
I will say pretty immediately, and Brawl will notice this and report back, there are kind of 2 sides to the bottom of the tower. One side is dedicated to the standard security hub, and the other side is dedicated to lifts that get you up to the upper levels. And it's almost like buildings stacked on top of each other, more than a traditional tower where you can go from floor 1 to floor however many there are. They're very segregated, even though it is one composite structure. So as you enter the security hub, you guys have probably at least been by or near the security hubs in the industrial domes. It's not particularly different other than it's cleaner, and the security station officers are, at least on the surface level, much nicer than the ones that you've seen below. Yeah, as you enter that main office area, you pass some passerby, maybe going off to have like some sort of court hearing off to one of the side rooms, which, standard fare. And as you walk deeper into the station itself, which is, it actually looks like whoever did the decoration for this was kind of going for an like old school style, like almost archaic with, overhanging structures, kind of like a gothic feel to the interior of this place, which is a little strange, but when you live on a space station that's kind of often repeated materials, interior decoration can sometimes get a little bizarre. You do encounter the kind of the booking desk, which is manned by one officer who's kind of forward facing and a couple officers off to the side who are doing their own things, handling other issues and reports. There's the desk agent. There is a couple officers off to the side, and in like a room kind of tucked in the back, you can maybe see like through one of like a window and closed door, there seems to be like a more higher ranking person behind them. Past this little square desk area, you do see that it goes deeper into the station, which you may or may not know is kind of where the jails might be and maybe some offices. I don't think you guys would ever been back there though, so the actual what's back there could be, slightly different than what you're familiar with down below.
All right. Miller makes his way up to the receptionist desk and says, "Yeah, hi. I'd like to file a police report."
Oh.
I heard asteroids fall and everyone dies.
I didn't say it.
Reroll characters.
Reroll characters. We're doing Blitzball from here on out.
Yeah.
No.
Blitzball.
I don't want to
Blitzball.
get into it, but we might have developed rules for Blitzball and Starfinder. We'll come to that later.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, we're not lying. I didn't include you in that.
Oh, good.
Whoa, okay.
Someone's farting.
There's somebody's
farting?
doing some weird
that me?
stuff. Cut
No,
it.
it's Mike.
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 Is it still
Jazz
making noise?
hands.
Now
It's
it's
not
not.
anymore.
Did he mute himself?
I did. Is it still making noises?
Nope.
No.
All right, the desk agent is, we'll say a younger human. We'll say brown hair. He's got some slight stubble, not quite 5 o'clock shadow, not quite completely clean shaven. And he looks a little bit bored, resting, a hand on his chin as he watches you guys approach. And he says,
I don't approach with them. I wait in the lobby, like find a place to sit or something. So
okay,
I
you're
can-
hanging out in the lobby, so you're kind of like in between where the hearings are, which are off to the side of the building, and then the actual booking desk itself.
Mhm.
Do me a favor. I won't go into it now, but make a perception check, and then remind me later what that is.
All right.
And for Miller, who has approached the desk, you approach this board person, and give me a perception check for Miller, please.
It is 26.
Awesome. Yeah, you pick up on a couple of things. This guy's definitely on the greener side of things. On his little badge plate, it says Sims for Officer Sims. He has paperwork tucked off to the side that seems to like be kind of more stacked higher than the other officers, and they're kind of going around this desk area. And nobody in this area seems particularly grizzled. They all seem either fresh or not anywhere near as hard as the officers you'd encounter down below, who are like professional dickbags. These guys seem much like a nicer breed.
Cool.
And Officer Sims, still bored, says, "Oh, and what would you like to report today?"
Well, you see, and Miller just kind of forces himself to kind of look as worried as possible. He says, I just got up here with my troop here earlier this morning, and I had my lucky snow globe. It was one of the Lieutenant Crunchy with laser pistol snow globes. Very, very, very rare. It's my,
I remember
it's my lucky
those.
charm. Yeah, it's my lucky charm. But I had it when I got up to the elevators here, and it's no longer at my purse. I usually have it on my purse, right at my side, and I was just wondering if anybody had seen anything.
So, a lost and found report.
Yeah.
I guess a lost report. For a second, I hoped, being a Isoki, you might add something more exciting. All right. He kind of looks lazily down underneath the desk, rifles through some forms, pulls out a report for you, hands it to you. All right. Fill that out.
Mhm.
Describe the item in detail.
Oh, I
Where
can
you last
describe
saw
down
it.
to the last scratch.
What was that?
I could describe it down to the last scratch for you.
Yeah, fine. All right. Put it on the form. And if we have anything returned, as long as you got contact info on there, we will let you know.
All right. One other question for you.
Sure.
I don't see a lot of Yosoki up here. Is where are they all?
They're here and there, but, well, housing situation's a little bit different up here than down below. So it's just expensive. And I find, as far as I can tell, Yosoki just don't want to cut it when they can live somewhere cheaper and has everything they need.
Hmm.
You know, where all the action is. I wouldn't leave.
And Officer Sims. How long have you been with the force?
About 3 years.
What's the most exciting thing you've ever seen here?
Missing snow globe.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really don't mean to waste your time, but I mean it's my pride and joy.
All I have is time to waste, little friend.
All right, I'll get this this going here for you. In the meantime, I as I'm talking to him, I'm kind of looking around. Do I see anything out of the ordinary? Do I see I don't know like unattended computers or anything like that?
I'll say that there's like a basic self-use kiosk computer in one of the corners of the room that's not necessarily being used, but it is, I will say, in full vision of the front desk. Otherwise, where you might like expect like a more tumultuous office, everything here seems more like an office for like a company more so than a security office.
Now, does everybody have like their own uniforms? Like, are
In
they all the
station
same
security,
uniform?
yeah, they're all wearing that same like red and black with the logo that is two S's. It looks different. It's fine. Station security, get off my back.
The S's are in Comic Sans.
You could have been
do I notice
SpaceX?
security cameras everywhere?
In this particular office, yeah. So actually, that I'll give you with your perception roll from before. Every literal like nested corner of the room, and that includes like say there's like a weird divot where an office would jut out.
Yeah.
Every corner space has a camera.
All right.
This is also something that is the same for every hub security that you've seen. Security hub that you've seen.
And one last question before I quit bothering you. Can I? Is there an area where the other Yosoki live? I mean, I kind of want to see if I can. I don't know. Maybe board up with somebody for a night.
I don't think you're likely gonna get security called on you if you try that.
Fair enough.
Folks around here don't like when housing.
When rats hang around, huh? Is that what you're saying? It's cool. I gotcha.
I don't mean to put that on you, but honestly, yeah, everyone up here is kind of a jerk. There is, if you go over to south side here, the magistrate's actually Yosoki, but he's about as uppity as you would find any of the other humans, Lashunta, whatever. I don't think you're gonna find much camaraderie there.
I gotcha. All right. Well, let me file this, and I'll get right back at you.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. He goes back under the desk, pulls out a business card that's got like a coffee stain on it, very not taken care of. He kind of flips it at you, and he's like, "If you hear anything more exciting than this, and I don't know, you look the type, just give me a call, all right? Officer Alex Sims."
Alex Sims. All right, Officer Alex Sims. And if I am a mechanic by trade, so if you need anything fixed, at home, you got an air conditioner that's on the fritz or something.
Ooh, he waves his hand. Like kind of like, ooh, don't, no, nope. Not. Ooh, no. Maybe you're down used to something a little bit lower below. Everything up here, contracted work.
Oh
You're flying in
man,
the face of the unions, and you're flying in the face of the guilds.
how do I get into one of them? That sounds right up my alley.
Are you a resident of Central Dome?
No.
That's the first step. Ibrahim's got its own guilds. No's got its own guilds. But if you're from below, like I suspect, you're not going to find anything up here, man.
All right. Well, I'll keep my eye out then.
Hey, best of luck with that snow globe. Crunchy crunch, man. That was a shit. Oh,
Crunchy
damn it.
crunch.
That was the
That's
a
the
spook.
spook.
That was a spook. Pardon my cursing, children. All right, Brawl, walking around the. Can you give me like paint a picture of you walking around this very large tower?
Well, of course, I have my Doshko in hand, because why wouldn't he at this point? He's carried it all the way up here. So he's pretty much been told to just look to see if there's any other entryways into the tower. Now, these segmented like tiers of the tower, how do they all connect outside of like these elevators? You said they didn't exactly go from like one level to the next.
So it is a like single composite tower. Like the paint scheme doesn't change. There's no obvious breaks in the floors, other than like windows looking out can tell you, there's different floor separation. It's a matter of you can't find a stairwell inside that goes from floor 0 to floor anything. It's maybe 1 or 2 floors are connected. The way you do so, and you see this by walking around, because this is not a structure you'd be familiar with. The opposite side of the security office hub, there are lift tubes. They are like personal elevators. There's probably a row of a dozen of them, and there's a couple that are. Most of them are for singles. Like you stand on the tube, hit a couple buttons, your single body gets up, and that's about the bulk of it. There are 1 or 2 that are bigger for like lifting up freight and things like that. Anything bigger than that would require some sort of space, like flying vehicle to ship up. Each floor has its own like tiers of access, and it's definitely not to fire code, but that is how they're accessed, specifically by the elevators or sometimes by flying vehicles.
Okay. Now, what about like other secondary entrances into the building? Like anything with like people just stationed outside the building? If there are people stationed outside the building at different entryways, or is there like fire exits? I guess just like any other entrances that people like are walking in and out of that we might be able to use.
I'd say in terms of security, none. You'll definitely see station security, like walking in and out of the building and around the building for other reasons, but they're not. No one's posted on guard. That's not really how this dome works. In terms of other entrances, you've got the lift tubes in the back side of the building. We'll say the north-facing side. You've got the security hub, like main door on the south-facing side, and you do notice there is a solitary door that looks like it's probably in some way related to the security hub, and that's going to be on the western side. Right
okay. Yeah. I don't think I'd be looking for anything else.
Okay. Give me a perception check, anyways.
Sure. That is a 2.
So close.
I just love perceiving.
You have an uncanny way to just absolutely botch those. I don't think that's like natural, man. All right. Yeah,
it wasn't natural 2.
It was a natural 2. You don't pick anything up. It's fine. You happen to stroll around. You notice the very obvious entrance to the building. I'll give you one more pity tell. Every floor does have windows. This is definitely a luxurious building, and they definitely want to, especially if you get higher, the windows get a little bit bigger, a little bit fancier. But every floor has windows, including station security. The windows are all polarized. You definitely don't see in, but the idea is that people can see out.
Okay. Okie dokie.
And Zero, what was your role for perception while you were hanging out around the magistrate's office?
16.
No, sorry, not the magistrate office, the hearings office. You got a 16?
Yeah.
Okay. The people there walking by you as you're just kind of hanging out ignore you entirely. Androids aren't particularly rare to see. You see people wearing weapons and armor, although much less than below. They're not like heavily armed. They're just kind of wearing like cursory weapons, which is standard for most space stations. Planets probably get a little bit more liberal, but space stations are generally armed and suited up just in case. And you see a variety of species. You see other androids, some as like commoners, some dressed in like professional clothing as if they may be lawyers or some sort of official. You see even an android station security officer walk by you. So definitely seeing an android in the area is not too surprising. You do also see just a variety of species and civilians coming by, a couple of Vask, Lashunta, a dwarf or two, very much cosmopolitan. Nobody really talking in hushed tones, and your location kind of in between the booking desk and the hearing offices, like where you find judges and things like that. You hear a couple of things that are interesting, even with your kind of distraction with the room. And you hear one the name particularly picks your ear up, and you hear the name of Dranar mentioned. Dranar, for viewers, being the half orc that the party is working for. I will say you don't quite hear what they say other than Dranar, and that kind of perks your ears up as they disappear into the hearing area, which is where you'd find maybe courtrooms and a couple offices. And it was the person talking was a lawyer-looking type talking to a station security member.
All right. Do I see any type of like janitor equivalent, or is it more? Do I see like robots doing that type of menial work?
In this particular structure, you'd see robots doing that work. Little drone-looking guys, less evolved or less advanced than like a mechanic's drone, but definitely on the level of like a drone. And maybe you'll also notice there are some security robots around, but they're sparing, nowhere near the presence again that you might encounter if there was an issue down below.
All right. I suppose I'd take point to remember which lawyer and was talking about Dranar.
Sure. I'll say that you'll know at least that it was a dwarf, and he was speaking to the android station security officer I mentioned.
All right. Remember as much of his physical description, or when he'd or wait for him to leave the room.
I'm gonna say you didn't get too much other than like kind of generic outlines. The android you'd probably pick out of a room. He was no hair to speak of anywhere on their body, and masculine. That's pretty standout for the android. The dwarf, I'll say you got the backside of him with your middling perception roll, and did not quite get a good view of him. And it was the dwarf that spoke the name.
All right. They seem to go into what type of room did you say it was? Like a hearing
Off
room?
into like the hearing area, which is where you would find there's at least one or more courtrooms, depending on the style of the building, and some offices, little law offices that kind of are attached. If crime, even in the lower levels, doesn't usually need a judge, station security often is judge and jury when it comes to being the arbiters of punishment. So these are for more almost like civil disputes or bigger cases that station security themselves might be building to enact, go further with something.
All right. Other than that, I suppose I'd wait until I see Miller come out.
All right, Miller, your conversation with Officer Sims seems to have dried up. Are you going to leave now, or is there something else you're trying to do?
No, I'm gonna go back to the lobby, fill out the paperwork, and give it back.
Right. While you guys are doing that, kind of figure out what you're doing next, because I'm going to jump back to Seeker and Rye. Seeker and Rye, you guys are standing outside of this manor over in the east sector. I think I said the east sector of Central Dome. And you guys have nice manicured lawn around you. And you're, I say, as close to the front doors as you like to be. What is your next act?
Is there some manner of announcing our presence to the homeowner?
Roll perception.
Sure thing.
Seeker as well, please.
I need to be more perceptive, but I rolled a 12.
Seeker's
looking
not
for a
going to roll
doorbell.
perception. He's actually going to be looking at all the foliage, all the bushes. Like, oh, this is so wonderful! I have
This
not
is a bad
seen.
start.
I have not seen greenery like this in quite a long time.
Did I have you roll perception on the greenery?
Yes.
It's green.
Very green, the greenest.
8.
We just love doing well on perception rolls.
Yes,
I
we
did
do.
pretty well.
This green
I
looks
rolled a 19.
innocuously orange.
Right, you don't see any obvious way to notify your presence other than knocking on the door, old school style. Seeker, it is very green.
Yeah.
And there are some other colors, flowers and the like throughout, but that's what I'm going to give you.
Okay, then I begin just walking up to the front door, and I will attempt a knock.
As
What's the
you
door's
step
AC?
on like this little like slightly raised welcome mat, you hear like a gong go out through the house, and as you raise your hand mid knock, the door swings open. This big ostentatious door swings open, and reveals the form of a what did I say he was? It looks like a very small, scrawny, pale human. Wearing like a butler's outfit, and I'd say you probably know he is the butler for the manor, and he is kind of standing there looking appalled at your upraised fist.
Hello.
The figure who has got dirty blonde hair, neatly trimmed, well groomed, but again pale, maybe a little sickly looking, raises his eyebrows in response.
Okay. Yes. Well, I am the Reich Oren. Yes, that one. And your employer. And he waits for like an acknowledgement. Doesn't get one and nods. Has informed me that anytime that I wish to stop by, I would be welcome, and I just happen to be in the neighborhood. So I thought I would stop by and give him a treat of a very rare Reich Oren one-man show. Yes, that is right. Mm-hmm. This is my friend Seeker.
Hello.
Good.
I
good.
do the special
Seeker.
effects.
Yes. Mm.
The butler like raises like a tuxedoed arm, and it's like an old school looking tuxedo. Definitely would be out of fashion, but it matches the manner in that it looks like it's expensive and kind of not necessarily like stupidly so, but there's no need for him to be wearing something like this kind of archaic looking. And as he pulls it up, the sleeve itself appears to be a data screen, as you can kind of see text scrolling up it as he looks, and he says, Reich Oren of Reich Oren Group that entered Central Dome at exactly, and he lists the time off about, I'll say 3 hours ago, because I don't know what time it is and I don't care.
It's 9:18 Eastern Standard Time.
I will cut you.
Oh.
I don't see you on the list of appointments today. Good day.
Not an appointment. Not an appointment. We don't do. We didn't have an appointment. It's more of a promotional surprise.
Magistrate. Oh God, what the hell's his last name? Stoyer. Magistrate Stoyer is a very busy man. If you do not have an appointment, you do not see the magistrate.
I say, well, surely he'd appreciate this. I mean, it is a one-man show. Very good for the the public perception.
Avant-garde, really.
Technically right.
Point of reference. How is it a one-man show if there's two of you?
Oh, I'm not acting.
There you go.
You just brought a friend?
Oh, no, like I said, I do the special effects.
I'm not quite sure you understand the meaning of one-man show. And
Well,
regardless,
to be
unless
fair, I don't think that if anyone here is going to know what a one-man show is, it would be the one man doing the one-man show, not the hired help.
Plus, there's lighting,
Oh.
and you have to have the spotlight. It has to follow him. And I list off this just pervasive list of different technical things that need to happen in this one-man show.
while you're
And
doing
I look
that,
in the
he talks
background.
over you, and he says, "This hired help happens to be the curator of the appointment list, which, is now booked until the end of time. How unfortunate for you."
And I just say,
Okay.
"Oh, that looks like a good spot to set up," and I just walk past him.
As you approach the door, roll a reflex.
Sugar.
Reflex save as a pulse
Please
of
roll low.
electricity fills the doorway as you attempt to step through.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Please roll high. 21.
Oh.
How much?
21.
That works. As you like get just about to where the door frame is, you notice out of the corner of your eye, straight past one of your lovely antenna, an arc of lightning building up in the door jamb and arcing down. You step backwards, fully looking as if you meant to do that, and the hired help just raises an eyebrow.
Ooh,
As I
what kind of
said.
security system is this? Ooh, can I take a look at that?
Well, not a very good one, obviously. I saw that coming a mile away. I'm just saying.
I could probably run some diagnostics on it to see, because that definitely should have hit him. Definitely.
I'm
All
very
right.
good,
He's
Seeker.
not that acrobatic.
I
Seeker,
am
I'm
one
very
button
good.
away from calling station secure. A voice from the inside of the building calls out, Justinian, Justinian, who is there?
Ah, that's why he's what a jerk. Oh,
Oh, there's me.
you've ruined it, Dustin. You've ruined it. This is going to be so easy. All I have to do now is complain about things that everybody likes while pointing out how great random film is that isn't in English.
And how he likes to read.
Thank you, Justin. I love.
Justinian steps back into the doorway. And can I get a perception check from my two gentle beings?
Yep.
I don't know if we can consider
7.
Rice gentle.
You're
He's
fair.
still more
Ooh,
than
nat
me.
20.
Ooh. So
But
21.
It's a skill check, but so 21. But
Seeker, you do notice that as he steps into the doorway, like a little bracelet on his wrist that's kind of hidden by his cuff flares a blue for just a brief second, like a little blink of a light as he steps into the doorway. And I'll say you are pretty able to perceive that bracelet is what is getting him past the door security. And as he steps back, you do see a little bit more into this manor, and you've got a landing with some statues. I will say mostly from Castrovel. I don't know if Seeker would recognize them, but Rai definitely
I
would.
would.
That's the home planet for Lashunta.
Mhm.
And there's a main staircase going up, then it curves around, and then there's a couple doors off to the sides that you're not able to see what's in there. And coming down this main stairwell is a female Lashunta dressed in a more modern evening gown than the butler's clothing, and it kind of clashes with the decor, being that she's definitely keeping up to date with pistol fashion, and apparently everything in this house is not. Let's see, what would that role be? Rai, as you see this Lashunta woman walking down the stairs, she appears to be a middle-aged woman, very, again, well-kept, well-dressed, very pretty. I would say that just in a stereotype of social scale, you'd say probably looks like a trophy wife. I'm certainly not saying that's what she is, but if you want to go for a stereotype, let's hit that.
Which, if she's the Lashunta trophy wife,
Speaking of that, can I get a willpower save from Rai?
sugar. Yeah.
So it's not. It is not a game mechanic we're experiencing right now. I'm just going to underline really quickly. You are very attracted to this woman
Did
to
you
an
just assume?
inappropriate degree.
Did you just assume my character's orientation?
Nope, don't care
I
if your
am
character
triggered.
is.
I am triggered. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Wouldn't
kidding.
care either way. You are very attracted to this woman.
Okie dokie.
And she begins speaking into your mind.
Okie dokie. Oh, you don't want to stay here for very long.
I'm sorry. Is the hired help bothering you?
Well, I mean, that is what they do.
Indeed. Out loud. Justinian, you're dismissed. But
Bye, Justinian. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Stoyer, magistrate, and he kind of like gets pushed like physically out of the way by the woman, and he begrudgingly steps off into a side door and disappears from the room. And now back into your mind, fully ignoring that Seeker is there, and now full inside of her as she's at the doorway. She says, "You mentioned something about a one-man show."
Raish Oren. At your service. And I keep doing this really just pompous smile. Think the hammer from Dr. Horrible. Just really pompous smile.
I believe you mean Captain Hammer, because the hammer was his penis.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I only watched this yesterday again, but wait. So is that just a?
Well, that's officially our next emote is going to be that being the hammer.
There's a good face right there.
Sorry, Kidney Punch.
I think I print screened that in time. Let me check.
You can always go back.
So she says,
Oh, I got it.
and again, this is all internal. She's definitely not even pretending to speak verbally. She says, "Is this one-man show only for my husband?"
She wants your one-man show.
It's a private one-man show.
No. It's for any. It was meant for him to see, but you see, I believe that anyone who desires to see the arts, if they can appreciate it, deserves to see it.
She looks quickly down at one of her bracelets, which also appears to be giving like a projected like time readout when she motions. So, she puts it back down. She's like, "In your head, I've got time. I don't particularly want him to see it, though."
Oh,
I would like to roll a sense motive.
Sure.
So this is D20 plus 4, but an additional 1D.
Oh.
Plus an additional 1D6.
I gotta spam some more emotes.
Yeah, please, someone spam the iJam emote.
Oh yeah, give me. All right, so 11.
So you you got it to an 11?
I got to an 11. Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. It's pretty obvious what she wants, and it is a different type of one-man show than I believe you were originally offering. She is not being subtle, and that's the motive you are sensing.
You're gonna get us chased off of this entire space station because Rai's gonna show her the hammer.
Meanwhile, Seeker's just standing there as you two are looking at each other and talking telepathically.
Oh yeah, I can just picture the two of us looking at each other.
Just eyebrows rise.
No,
Seeker's just standing there like.
Seeker, make a perception check, please.
This is awkward.
Make a perception check, please.
Okay. Plus 1, enter. 3. Wow. Holy crap. Really bad.
Honestly, I'm punishing you for this one now. Not only is this like an awkward conversation? You literally have forgotten that Lashuntas are telepathic. You really just think this is the longest staring contest. You're not sure why they haven't stopped because they've both been blinking normally. It just keeps going. So you're at this point you're enthralled. You just want to see how it ends.
Right, I think you won already.
I look down. Yes, I have.
Would you like to come upstairs?
Yes, I would.
All right, and she kind of like puts her like arm in the doorway and ushers you in. Seeker, you'll notice one of her bracelets blinks that blue light again, and she ushers Rye in.
Seeker follows.
She puts as Rye. I'm assuming Rye enters.
Yes, he does.
I regret that immediately.
The house.
She puts one finger up in front of Seeker and she says,
Finger up.
She says out loud, you know what? She can telepath into you. She in your head, she says, and you mentioned you do special effects.
Oh yes, I tell you, Rye is nothing without me. Nothing.
Oh no.
You can come upstairs too.
Oh no.
Okay. That's why
I'm not
here.
gonna get into any more of the details there. I'm just gonna let you know you guys have some options to what goes on in there.
Oh, gee, I wonder.
Well, there are 3 of us. We have plenty of options.
You guys didn't really do much research, and it's mostly because of poor rolls. It wasn't because I did. You guys had time to do so. So you don't really know any of the drama or stuff that goes around in the family. So I'm gonna say you guys are a little mystified. You are both in a room with a woman who is very self-aware and self-sure, and you guys have the opportunity to ask questions. But I'm leaving the scene violently. And I'm going to go back to the other guys. You may figure out whatever happened in that room between you two. I don't want to know. But if you afterwards ask questions, I will say she was pretty free with the information. Okay. Back to my folks at Security Station,
so
full of
much.
very children-friendly things going on right now.
I actually wrote out, because I knew you were going to get at me, during that whole entire thing with all the other guys, I wrote out a freaking, like, here's what scene 1 is, here's what scene 2 is, here's what scene 3 is, as an idea, so that I wouldn't be, like, completely lost. And then you just give me a DM moment where, like, everything gets changed. I need whiskey.
Well, my next question for you is, like, are you doing them now, and are you doing them clothed?
Am I doing the scenes now? Probably not.
All right, that's all I need to know. All right, jumping back to the other guys. You guys have all come back. Brawl has given you information of the building. Really basic information. He can't perceive anything. I don't know why you guys sent him to look at things.
I told you I was not good for any job.
He's like walking around with his Doshko. I swear, he just keeps looking at the Doshko and how it looks in different backgrounds. He's got his data pad out. There's the back door. For viewers who aren't familiar, a Doshko is like I think this one was like 6 feet tall. Like
I got this. So it's this thing right here on the front of the book.
Without the energy blades. The blades are just metal. But yeah, it was also carried by a Vesk of about that size.
And that's my size.
Yeah, he's a little rat folk fella, and he's carrying
that's me. That's what I'm carrying.
About twice as long.
Look at the chat.
And as you get together, Brawl does not really have too much, but yeah, he obviously did once around at least and gave you the general gist. Miller has to report back. It seems pretty lax security-wise. I mean, I definitely say you probably ascertained that. And boring, and you may or may not have gained a contact. Couldn't say, that could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
And Miller knows at the very least, Zero knows at the very least someone in this building is discussing Dranar. And again, the information here is not super tight, even in like this little hallway area. You're able to pick that up.
Right. So I take it Zero has relayed that information to me.
Yeah, I did. I would have.
Now, Dustin, are there actual like court rooms in this building?
Are you gonna? Well, in the other ones, let me see. We haven't really discussed it. Has Miller gotten any legal trouble during his month on Pyramid Station Alpha?
Probably not. No.
Then I'm going to say no, you don't know.
Okay.
However, the doors are open. You are able to walk through if you want into this hearings area. The sign above the door just says hearings. That's all it says. If you guys want to walk in, you are able to, but I'm not telling you what's on the other side.
All right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of lead the way while kind of absent-mindedly talking to and Hush. Just like, well, all right. Now you got to come up with all the specs on this snow globe here while making our way through the door.
Okay. And you guys have any issues with that, Brawl and Zero, before I keep going?
My only question is, do they do anything with weapons, like as far as taking them away or anything like that?
As you guys walk through the doors, the first things you see are posted station security and what would be like a weapons detector. Yeah, as you get into this hearings area, you are needed to divulge yourself of weapons and anything like volatile. It's like an airport. They're taking fluids. They're taking anything that looks like it could be used as like a spell component, despite that not really being a thing in Starfinder. Weapons, and they've got like a really high-tech scanner just set past the doors, being manned by 2 security guards.
Oh yeah. Here you go. Takes off his rifle and his grenades.
Okay. They don't bat an eye at the fact that you just dropped grenades into this like little bin area. No concerns. And it gets like sucked into a machine and kept there.
Cool.
I will say that you notice that on the exit there is like a little retrieval station.
All right.
Take good care of my stick.
The guard who takes that from you and kind of feeds it into the machine, like looks like does a double take from you to the stick, and just shrugs and slides it down. Is that the only weapon you have? Is that Doshko that you borrowed?
That's all I got.
Okay. And Zero.
I have a survival knife and a pistol.
Both look like lightsabers to me, but all right. So you give them the survival knife and the pistol?
Yeah.
All right. So as you've given them all, could I have you quickly review your character sheets?
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone carrying any other weapons they haven't disclosed?
Let's see. Comm unit, batteries, space suit.
Before, I didn't think about it, but I think I gave all the grenades to Reich, correct?
Reich did
Yes.
take the grenades. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, then I don't have any other weapons.
Yeah, no, I just have a bunch of clothing.
I do not have any other weapons.
Perfect. You guys are stuff stored in. You're ushered through the security gates. You maybe sense a brief tingle, and you are ushered on through. And now you're into a slightly bigger lobby. And in the corner, the next cardinal directions behind you is obviously the exit. And each other cardinal, you've got courtroom 1, courtroom 2, courtroom 3, and a couple of smaller like little office pods in between there. The only really areas to go into are these courtrooms, and outside of the courtrooms, you've got people waiting for their turn inside of the rooms.
Okay, so are there any there's no markers, there's no labels on these courtrooms at all, like court cases or anything like that?
No, but give me a perception check.
Perception.
Everyone, please.
20.
Brawl. Let's see what happens, Brawl. Let's see it.
16.
Hey, that's not bad.
Not
And I
terrible.
had 11.
Yeah. So you guys, Zero, you're not really picking up anything. You're like scanning the crowd, and you're just trying to look for faces at this point. And I'm gonna say none of them stand out to you.
Not even the lawyer that he heard talking or saw talking. Okay.
No. Brawl, however, does notice that there are like little clusters of groups, and he, let's see, you see there is a group of Yosoki waiting to get into the courtroom. Like one of the courtrooms. Let's say courtroom 1. It's arbitrary, but that's fine. And they've got like a Yosoki kind of like it's in like a suit as their lawyer, and they're all waiting to get in. That's something you notice. Outside of one of the other groups, we'll say courtroom 2. There are people who you probably wouldn't generally associate with, but you immediately can like smell corporate off of them. These are like big wigs or some sort of lawyers from one of the major corporations that while you guys are in the deep reaches of space, they still have a presence out here. I won't say that you quite can tell which ones they were, just because it's more of like a feeling you're getting from them than like any actual like logos or things like that. But definitely got a corporate feel. And in the third courtroom, not really sure. You think everyone's probably in session there. Miller, you yourself do happen to notice a dwarf that is standing off to one side of courtroom 3 with an android member of station security.
All right. Are they talking at all, or?
Not from where you can see. I'll say this room is probably about 100 feet, like from like one courtroom to the next courtroom across from it. It's a decently big place, and spacious. And you can't really see that they're talking. They do seem to be standing like against a wall near each other. I won't say there's any obvious conversation going. Certainly no heated conversation.
All right.
Do we notice if there are any public hearings going on or anything like that?
That's a good question. Yeah, I would say that the courtroom with the Yosoki, there's a sign for like public hearing. Yeah.
So
the other two definitely not.
When Zero was relaying the information that he heard back, did he mention there were a android and a dwarf?
Yes, I definitely would have.
For the sake of like the show and for viewers and everyone, and well as the players, unless you guys tell me you are keeping something secret, when I give my descriptions, assume I gave everything you guys had. Some things I will ask you guys to absolutely roleplay giving, but that being so menial, unless you guys stop me from saying you disclose this information, you've disclosed the information.
All right. So he kind of leans over. Hey, Hush. See a android and a dwarf over there. Those you guys?
Is the android the right android?
Yeah, it is. It's the hairless, pale androids in station security armor.
And they are in one of the courtrooms. Is that what you said?
No, they're standing next to like the door for courtroom 3.
Okay. And you said there was a line to get in there, correct?
That one actually doesn't seem to have anyone milling about. No.
Okay.
Whoever is using the courtroom, if it is in use, is actively in the courtroom itself.
All right. Let's see if we can get inside that courtroom, huh?
I would let you know that I only recognize the android, and that as far as the dwarf goes, I didn't get a great look at him.
Okay.
That's fair.
Then let's see if we can get inside that courtroom. See if we can learn a thing or two about Mr. Half-Orc.
If we can't get in, we should go sit at the public hearing for a little while, or make it seem like we're actually here for a purpose, as opposed to just walking in and walking out.
Formal. I have one. Do I see like restrooms around?
Yeah. There's a restroom probably next to each courtroom. Yeah.
Miller's gonna run into one of the restrooms and change into his formal wear.
Okay. You come out looking
dapper,
overdressed. More like you're probably the defendant in a case you'd really like to impress the judge on, more so than a lawyer. But yeah, you come out looking nice, and at least you are more fitting than like your mechanic armor garb and everything. Yeah, definitely fine. And you guys are going to approach courtroom 3. You get immediately rebuffed by the android station security officer. He steps up and steps away from the door, and he says, "Private hearing, unless you have a reason to be here, and I'll need to see identification. Please relocate yourselves."
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We were actually just in the area. We kind of just wanted to hear a case. Is there any other public hearings that we can sit in on, or?
Yeah, you here with a class?
Do I know what that means?
Like a school classroom trip.
Yeah. Actually, that's why I'm all dressed up.
Head on over there. Courtroom 1's got public hearings today. You're not going to get anyone in courtroom 2 or 3.
Oh, why? What's going on over there?
Could you be more specific?
Why can't we get in there? Why can't we get in these 2 courtrooms? What makes these ones different from that one?
Private cases.
Oh, all right. But they'll be made public someday?
No.
Oh.
He does laugh a little bit as he says that.
Oh.
Do you know what the case is in courtroom 1?
He's an android. He wouldn't laugh.
So some androids have more personality, and you notice this one's kind of got like a smug look on his face, which is slightly different than I'd say most androids. And he says, not really my speed. something to do with you more normal folk.
Oh, this is nothing what I learned about in school. Miller just kind of scratches his head. All right.
All right then.
He motions you along and expects you to continue on, and I'll say you guys probably are rebuffed.
Yeah.
I also will say that you have no reason to believe the court case is relevant to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll underline that.
Yeah, exactly. It's public records.
For the viewers who did not catch that, he's dropping in front of some words to make them a half butted portmanteau of space and whatever the word he's trying to say.
All right. Let's see. What else could we do around here?
Why don't we drop in on the courtroom?
You can go to the public hearing, and that'll waste some time. Or you guys can bounce and maybe look at like upper levels of the tower.
I do suggest
those elevators were accessible. There was no guard on the.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Then let's look.
Actually, I would like to. I'm going to look for something. Whether or not I find it is a different matter.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
I would like to see if there's like a board with like a map of the tower. Like what's above us, or like on the different levels. If there's like a directory, I guess.
Roll perception.
Oh, here goes. Yeah, a 4. Yes.
Moving up in the world.
Nope. You don't see anything on the wall in terms of signage. You also don't remember anything in terms of signage. You just know where the elevators are, and you're able to direct people back there. Is that what you guys are going?
I suggest we do spend at least a little while in the public hearing.
Just to kind of get an idea as to what's going on around here.
Well, I'm thinking more it might be a little suspicious if we walk in, stay here for 2 seconds, and then walk out and reclaim our weapons.
I like what you're thinking, Hush. Let's do this.
All right, you guys enter into a courtroom. You go into the courtroom 1 doors. There's like a little landing area where there's like a station security who motions you guys to a back row of benches. Not a very populated courtroom. And you see there's like mostly Yosoki towards the very front. We'll say there's probably about a dozen Yosoki. And on one side of the courtroom. And on the other side of the courtroom is lawyer-looking folk. We'll say he's Lashunta lawyer. Well-dressed. No one on his side, so either representing himself or representing an absent party. Unlike maybe courtrooms you expect on Earth, there's no area for a jury. It is quite simply a judge-run court with input from defendants and witnesses if needed, and station security. That's it. So there's a stand for people to talk to the courtroom, address the courtroom, which is mostly facing the judge. There's the judge, who is a slightly raised seat, but otherwise not particularly official looking, just like a bigger seat with a desk. Raised seat, but somebody behind the desk will say is going to be, it's like dwarf. This one looks like a much older dwarf, graying beard, definitely been around for a while, seated at the desk and is listening to people as they say. He is wearing a little badge with the station security logo on it. So very clearly this person is in the employ of station security. I'm trying to underline that if you guys aren't catching it. You guys are in the back of the room. Give me a perception check to see if you guys are able to hear what's going on in the court proceeding, or if you guys just kind of spend time.
13.
Okay, you guys ready? Here we go with another brawl perception check.
11.
Oh, okay, not bad. A 10. You
guys all hear like bits and pieces of the conversation. You don't really get into the nitty gritty, but it is about some sort of tenement dispute involving the Yosoki are kind of being targeted by. You're not quite sure, but you think it might be Central Dome itself is being represented, and it does not sound like the judge is at all reflecting on the Yosoki. The court will go on for a couple hours, though. I assume you guys only spend about an hour because you're not getting too much out of it, and then you leave?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So as you guys leave the courtroom, you leave the building, you get around to the back where there's all those elevators.
We got our weapons and stuff back, yes?
Oh, yeah. As you exit the courtroom, it's like a little, you actually get to push a button with your face on it. And as you push it, it scans your fingerprint, and your particular weapons are dispersed to you.
Nice.
You guys get everything back, no problem. Nothing really to note on the way back, and you guys leave peacefully. and you head to the back of the elevators. And now that we've had about an hour past, I don't expect it would take Rye and Seeker that long. What are you guys up to?
So
You were back in, I will say, either we'll say you are now in the foyer of the manor again, unless you had something else in mind.
Let's be honest, considering who's there, was probably only 5 minutes later.
Hey, I do have stuff. So first, I maintain that Reich cares about his craft. And in very few situations, he's very professional. That said, he knows there's opportunity here. Not for that. So first, when they go upstairs, no matter what would happen, there's going to be some discourse. Would it be fair to say that there would be at least 10 minutes worth of chat time just getting to know each other? In that case, I would like to do a diplomacy.
Yep.
To, where is it? Try to improve her mood. Now would you say that she is already friendly?
Yeah.
Definitely in that mood.
So I'm going to attempt to do that. Where is it? So I got the math in front of me. The DC of this check is equal to 10 plus your opponent's total diplomacy skill bonus, or 15 plus 1.5 times the opponent's CR.
Okay.
Okay.
One moment. Based on your experience, can Seeker aid another?
On this one, I'd be going at it alone because I don't trust his ability to help me in diplomatic situations.
Not quite what I'm asking, but probably still gets me to the same answer.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I am. Stop thinking dirty. I'm straight up talking to the lady.
I know. No, I'm talking to Dustin.
I'm encountering the whole experience is probably going to be part of this diplomacy role. So if you guys are both involved, you guys both roll.
So I was utilizing diplomacy before doing anything else.
She didn't really give you that much time.
I just asked you if I got 10 minutes.
To talk. Yeah.
That's what it requires. Are you going to let me roll a goddamn diplomacy roll?
Yeah, roll diplomacy. I'm asking if Seeker can aid another or not.
I could.
No, it's up to Rye.
All right, so it's this plus...
Yeah.
So 25, all in all.
25? Yeah, mood's improved. She's definitely impressed by your prowess and your dedication to your craft and you as an individual.
Okay. So what I'd like to do during this time would be to provide her with the one-man adaptation of The Gnome and I, also known as The Gnome I.
I'm gonna need some more from that. I'm a little concerned.
Oh no! So straight up, he's gonna deliver the play, but during the in-between acts, he wants to utilize that time of changing the sets and whatnot to try to discern more information, learn more information about her.
I'm gonna be really clear. She had zero interest in seeing a play and would make that clear if that came about.
Okay.
I'm not saying don't save that for later.
Yeah, I'll save it for later.
I'm saying this was definitely a different altercation.
Okay, understood. So whilst she seems intrigued, I will simply, I guess, attempt a flirty conversation mentally with her. And first, what's her name? So what is your name? I did not get it.
Is this the hour after or just before the hour that we just passed?
I figured this was a time jump back to during those guys doing the other stuff.
Yeah,
telepathically again that you're asking what her name is.
Yeah, butt out.
Telepathically.
No. I'll say it out loud.
She doesn't answer you out loud. In fact, she hasn't said anything out loud past that one conversation she had with Seeker, and she tells you her name is Chimera Stoyer.
Chimera.
I mean, are you broadcasting it so that I can also hear? Because I think you can do that, can't you?
She can. She's not.
I'm asking if Rye is.
Oh.
Right now I'm making lovey-dovey faces.
And Seeker's just, again, standing there.
So during the conversation, dip in between less serious and more serious conversation, and I try to can I make a culture check to see if now that I know who she is, what the
yeah. Give me a culture check. That's a good idea.
Okay, so I make a culture check. 13.
No.
Nah, I know nothing.
You've heard that she's the wife of Alden Stoyer. Name isn't super unfamiliar to you, but otherwise, that's it.
Okay.
And I will say, we are now like an hour after. You guys have done whatever happened in that bedroom. You guys are in the landing of the manor, and you're still with her. However, you guys are in like the more general public area. You're no longer in a bedroom.
Okay.
Oh.
If you guys want more information to come, that's fine. Conversation can resume, but
there was nothing dirty that was going to happen. But
that's up to you and Seeker, and whatever you guys want to say happened, but that's fine. You improved her mood anyways without anything.
Okay.
She definitely already respects you. That's not really a concern.
Okay. So she did enjoy my poetry.
She enjoyed your time.
Okay. All right. So there goes that. So
I don't know why we just sat there in silence for an hour, but
I wouldn't say it was. Oh, you did sit in silence.
I just looked down at him with a knowing smile as sweat pours down my brow. And I turned back. So, Chimera, I was wondering if I could talk to you about.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Kimara. Yep. Kimara.
I'll spell it the way I want to.
That's fair.
Kimari? Is he a Ronzo?
No.
Back to
Blitzball?
the fancy speak I don around aristocracy.
Yep.
So, Miss Kimara, I was wondering if we could discuss some matters of business now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way.
We've only got a little bit more time before schedules change. What did you have in mind?
Oh, I can be very fast. So the reason we are here is we have a friend.
Chris, mute yourself.
You can hear that? I'm using my silent keyboard.
It's not silent.
Are you using it with horse hoofs?
This one.
Got this.
So, I say, so we have a friend down in the lower levels who is trying his best, like we all are, to better themselves. And to do so, he requires a hall pass. He's been very helpful with us. And I think that he would do very well up here. Would you be able to assist in procuring a hall pass on a more permanent basis?
Yeah, give me a... Wait, are you asking for you or your friend?
For my friend. Also for me, if possible. God, Mike, your microphone likes to fart a lot. Thank you.
As to it being... you're kind of asking for two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
Roll, give me like one of your persuasion rolls for, I guess that would be diplomacy and Starfinder, right? Give me a diplomacy roll. Like persuasion doesn't have its own stat, right? I'm not making that up.
Not I'm aware of.
Does
Okay.
not.
All right, so it is this plus this 19.
She kind of she says she like flips through one of like her bracelets and pops up like a display over her wrist, and she starts typing some things, and she says, "Who am I making the hall pass?" Oh, sorry, in your mind. Sorry, Seeker. She says, "Who am I making the hall pass out to?"
And I have a sudden stroke of genius. Reich Oren, LLC.
Okay. Yeah. She makes it no problem and issues it out.
Okay.
You get a little ping in your data pad, whether or not you acknowledge it or fine, but you have
Out of character, I hope that's not a terrible idea.
You got mail kind of thing.
Okay,
Is there anything else you want to address with Kamara?
Yeah, I was hoping to gain information as to why things have gone south. If she ever needs a helping hand, a shoulder to cry on,
Helping hand.
a
Wink.
poet, me,
A hammer.
the hammer.
She gives you a physical wink that probably confuses Seeker more, and mental affirmations that I've got your number. And as she turns to leave and expecting you to leave yourself out, the front door to the manor opens, and so where Kimara was tall, slim, and elegant, kind of the build that Rai is as well. Enter now a male Lashunta who is stockier, shorter, thicker in general, definitely more of a stronger build. Lashunta, so middle-aged man whom you recognize as Alden Stoyer, your patron of sorts.
Okay. Does he immediately see us?
Oh yeah, you guys are right in the foyer. If you guys don't say anything, he will. I just wanted to give you a second to say something or try to run. Some people might do that.
Oh, no.
To make sure you had an idea.
I approach him jovially with my arms out, which you can't see in camera, but you know how you go, "Hi." So what would be? Is there a title that he would go by?
Magistrate.
Magistrate. So I simply walk up to him. Magistrate, last name Stoyer. Magistrate Stoyer. There you are. I was wondering where you have been.
I'm tempted to make you roll a bluff check, but that's also technically true. So
no, it's technically true. I came here to see him.
I still think
that's kind of true.
I still think it's bluffing, but I'm going to let it slide. Well, you know what? Give me a perception check from both of you, please.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming you said this out loud, Rai?
What was that?
Did you say this out loud or internally? Like telepathically?
Oh, no, I say it out loud. I don't want to neglect Seeker, any information that would be pertinent to him. My conversation with Kimara, maybe not pertinent.
That's fine. And did I get a perception roll from Rai?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
All right, Rai doesn't pick up on it, but Seeker notices that initially Stoyer's face goes from almost like anger that he's being interrupted in existing to like a spark of recognition as he notices first Rai, and then his eyebrows raise a little bit further as he recognizes Seeker as well. I will say this is the first time Seeker has met Stoyer. And I'll be going for his last name, but he seems to recognize you, Seeker, and you definitely pick up on that. He, as his face is rushed to these things, which Rai ignores entirely, and gets to like the end of, he mirrors your gesture of open hands and says, "Raish, how nice to see you again, my theatrical friend." And he quickly looks around to make sure that you guys are alone in the foyer, which Seeker notices. Rai still just excited that he remembers his name.
Oh yeah, I'm super stoked that he remembers my name.
He says, "I have been really looking forward to speaking with you. I just did not expect you now."
All is well, all is fine. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by to see my favorite patron.
Yes, of course. And I desperately want to have some alone time with you. I'm going to make this awful. However, I do not quite have time. Let me reach out to my butler, Justinian, and I will make sure you get on my agenda. Could you be free tomorrow morning?
I could try to make that work. Yes.
You roll perception again.
Okay. You're asking me to
Both
roll.
of us, or just
No, Seeker. I'm going to give you a blanket perceptify.
18.
Okay.
Okay.
You notice this time you see his face change, and it actually triggers for you. He is, and you kind of notice he gets like another flash of anger, quick flash of anger that disappears.
Mhm.
But I think you realize that he is not a person who has ever been told a non-committal answer when addressed that way. And
Yeah. So I'm able to recover from this then, possibly.
You see it. You definitely see it.
Okay. Old theatrical joke. We're always fashionably late. So we always joke about maybe we'll be there. You're my favorite patron. Of course I'll be there.
He looks a little bit mollified, and he kind of lets it slide, and he says, "Don't be fashionably late tomorrow, please." And I'm just going to use regular time, and he's going to say, "Be at my offices in the central tower at 9 a.m. station time."
Sure. Will there be any difficulties in getting in there? Should I arrive very early? Sometimes I've noticed guards and security personnel do not quite understand the worth of a man's time.
Yeah, he's starting to kind of like walk past you, and as he's talking to you, like he's definitely got places to be. And he says, "I will see both you and Seeker there. I will have you both added to the guest list. So all you need is a fingerprint into the elevator. That'll take you right up to my office. As long as you are here legally."
Oh, of course.
I don't remember saying my name.
Him too, and he points to the android.
All above board.
Perfect. Your fingerprints will get you through the elevator and up to my office. You don't even need to worry about the floor. I'll program the elevators for you specifically.
That sounds good.
Okay.
I
Until
we
tomorrow.
met.
Come, Seeker.
Seeker, I know you, and that is all that matters. Please be there with Rye at 9 a.m. I must be going, though. I must be off. I will see you. Thank you.
See, somebody notices how good I am, too.
Can I just do a quick sense motive as he's saying that? Because I don't know why anyone would know Seeker.
While
well,
you're
I
figuring
am
out your role.
pretty profound artist.
Oh,
Two voices, what?
Seeker.
Well, I am a pretty profound artist in my own right.
And I will say, you may roll sense motive. Please do so. I will say something I did not cover. As for the male species, while he is definitely stockier and less graceful, I'd say he is probably equally as attractive as his wife. This is definitely a well-kept man dressed in older style formal clothes.
I got an 18 on my sense motive.
What was that?
18 on my sense motive.
18 sense motive. Not quite clear enough to make a decision there as to what his actual motive is. You are starting to get the inkling that it might not have anything to do with your play.
Yeah.
Question is...
No one appreciates the theater.
Is he about the same kind of build as Krellis?
Krellis would be in the realm of like 6.5 to 7 feet tall.
Oh, he's shorter.
This guy's
okay,
closer to like he's reaching 4 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And just in case there's any confusion, so at least from what I read in the book, there are two styles of Lashunta, but it's not necessarily broken down by male and female.
It used to be, but over the centuries, it has been a choice. You get to choose.
Okay, because I am most assuredly the opposite, much more in line with the wife.
Who actually left the room as soon as her husband entered. You guys maybe noticed. Seeker noticed.
Oh,
Yeah,
as
well, you
she
did
left,
say
I say, it was nice not talking.
Yeah, the two builds. I actually don't remember both of them. One is Demaya, which is what I think you are, the like more lithe version. The tall, is that right?
Sure. I don't
remember the
have
other.
it in front of
There
me.
are two, and they changed the stats they come with. It used to be males were stocky, females were the thin, skinny, whatever. As the centuries passed, so that got switched up. So Lashunta get to choose. They have like a whole ritual where they get to choose which way they're going. Pairings make sense. That happens often, but you'll also find sometimes households that are just one way or the other. bit more into the culture aspect that matters right now. But yeah, good thing to observe. He's obviously a different style of Lashunta. All right, you guys now have a date. Do you have anything else to do in this manor now that you've been left unattended 100% by the husband, wife, and butler so far?
I just take a little peek at all the statues really quick, just kind of admire them.
They are all nudes of figures you're not familiar with, but they're all like artistically done statues, like in, we'll say, different versions of stone.
Are they blurred out?
They're nudes of different
Blurred out.
different people. Ryan
So
may or
that's
may
what
not
that
know
looks like.
probably deities or maybe some like famous like historical figures in Castrovel.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Culture check.
I don't have any names for them, so you're wasting my time with a
No,
culture.
that's fine. I'm just saying, like, if there's an opportunity here for me to obnoxiously explain the history of my people to him, I will do so.
Sure. You know what? Let's see that. Roll the culture check. I want to see how that goes.
17?
Yeah, you definitely notice at least one of them who was a patron of the arts, and maybe you kind of style yourself after. You say unintentionally, but like you super like this. You read his history. You're like, yeah, that's me. That's all me.
Yeah.
And as you explain that, as you guys are leaving the manor, yes, no.
Yep.
We will jump over to our folks who are at the elevators in the security tower. We have about 20 minutes left to the episode. We should be able to get through the next bit, but if you guys, we might not jump back to Seeker and Ride. Just a heads up. What are you guys doing?
We're riding the elevator.
So as you guys approach the elevators, I'll say that we'll give you like 12 personal tubes. And then there's 2 more like serious, like almost like platforms, like mini versions of the elevator you took to get up to this dome level. The personal tubes are customized to fit. We'll say like a single Vesk is probably what their capacity is. So like big, bulky, 6-7 feet tall figures, not really room for a whole group of people.
What
And
about
each tube,
two Yosoki and an android?
that could probably cram into a tube. Yep. And as you guys kind of inspect the elevators, which I'm going to say looks a little awkward, but maybe you get like a touristy look going on while you're kind of looking at the elevators. When you go in, there is a screen, and you find that map that Brawl was looking for in the courtroom, which gives you like the tower, like by level, up to like who it is and like what corporation owns what. There's like a marketplace somewhere in the middle of the tower, which does require special access. Cough level 5, cough. And just the different offices and things that you can find, and there's no buttons per se. There is a voice scanner, like a speaker that you can speak into, and like a fingerprint. It doesn't have to be a thumb because not every species necessarily has a thumb, but there's some sort of like DNA fingerprint identification reader that controls your access.
All right. But
there is one small section of the tower, which is still like say 4 floors of the tower, that has no access, and it's marked off as prison facilities. I don't know what they'd call it, but we'll call it prison facilities.
Is there anything that would stand out like record keeping? Because that's what we're ultimately here for, is to
record keeping for who? I'm assuming station security.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that there is like right above the station security standard office, like that one for the hub, in the upper floors. I'll say it's about probably 2 floors devoted to this. It is station security management and facilities, which would include a storage.
And what floor?
We will say that's going to be floors 3 and 4. Above that, immediately above that, is the like higher security prison.
Is there do we have access to those? Like if I was just to say, yeah, 3.
I'm gonna press my finger to the elevator to see what lights up for access.
Okay, so as you kind of put your fingerprint to it, you notice that there are, like, it reads for a second, and certain sections of this map of this tower light up. And it's kind of, so you can tell, like, if you said a word that kind of references, like, on the screen that pops up, you'd be able to go there. And the screen scrolls, because it couldn't possibly get the whole tower, so it kind of, like, scrolls up and down. You have access to corporate offices that you can go to. They have, like, personal foyers and stuff like that, which are like, you're getting pretty high up in the tower. There is a visiting area for the prison. So there is like that first entrance level. You can definitely get up to the prison. The station security offices that I just addressed, 3 and 4, you do not have access to. For the most part, though, like offices and things that aren't privately owned, like that have some sort of public facing or would have public facing, you would have access to that. But the one you're asking for the station security records and stuff, Brawl does not have access to.
We might be able to get something if we go to the prison visiting area.
What floor is the prison visiting?
That would be floor 6. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floor 5.
Yeah. Let's check around.
All right. Who uses their fingerprint to get up there?
It'll be mine.
All right. Brawl scans fingerprint. Your ID picture does show up on the screen, and it is not a mugshot of you, but it looks like the elevator took the picture, and because it's you right now, and it takes you on up to that floor really quickly. Like it's like a. And you guys probably feel a little uncomfortable because not only the inertia, but the fact that there's 3 people in this one-person elevator. It's a little uncomfortable. And
they're probably stacked, like one of them standing on their other shoulders.
Could be.
Save vertical space.
Can I just interject real quick? Miller would be able to kind of figure out how this is working. You know, it's taking a picture, it's moving. He kind of knows like how everything's going on right now.
Give me an engineering check.
All right. 19.
So you understand how the mechanics work. You get to kind of the security behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The panel you're interacting with is a dumb panel, though. It doesn't have any access to like data, like entering. Mm-hmm. It is strictly output.
Okay.
Now,
it doesn't have any kind of external data jack or anything like that you could use. There are like different invasive things you'll maybe later get access to that could get past even that. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have anything that does that now. So for now, it's just output. But you kind of do get how that works.
But there is an input because there's a thumbprint in it there. So
when I said input, I mean like nothing for your hacking tools to plug into.
Now,
now if you can hack DNA, things like that, yeah, you've got the idea. Forgery could potentially work here.
When the picture that showed up on the screen, is it specifically of me, or does it show the other 2 with me?
You probably see like Zero's shoulder in the background, but it looks like the screen that you're looking at, which is like you can pull it down to your level. But we say you maybe jumped on top of Miller or something like that. I'm not really sure like how you guys did it, but it's like a picture of you, like a selfie picture, and it does have like the back of the pod with you. So you probably got like Zero's shoulder in the shot too. This is a good question.
Okay.
And as it like shoots up to this floor, the door opens and you guys kind of spill out because inertia like immediately dumps, and you guys kind of land in a bit of like a tumult. If you want to make reflex saves just for fun.
Yeah, I'm down to do that.
And as you guys are kind of maybe sprawling out, you are in it's just a small lobby area that you've spilled out into. There is a guard window with no obvious access. Brawl is sprawled out on the floor.
Same, not one.
I got 19.
Miller actually uses Zero to propel himself forward, and he's like stands, like slides a little bit on his little rat, hands at his hip, like nailed it. And Zero like stumbles because of this. And what you're faced with is there's a hallway going deep down into it on, we'll say, the right, and then there's a guard station. And there is like security measures across that hallway, like we'll say like a laser gate or something. High tech, definitely security based. The facility is clean, and you can't see much past. There's just a hallway going deeper into the prison. And that first thing you see is a guard behind the booth. And as you guys kind of sprawl out, they look probably not super uncommon, especially with Yosoki involved. And the person behind the gate looks to be it's a woman with elven features, although the scarcity of elves in like the public eye leads you all to probably believe it's probably a half elf. So likely a half elf as the guard at that gate, as like the kind of little entry area.
All right.
And again, it's like a security window, like you're like a bank teller kind of thing.
Huh. And did you say if it was a man or a woman?
It's a lady, a she half elf, or at least looks to be a lady.
A shelf?
Excuse me, miss?
Yeah, how can I help you?
Yes, I'm actually here on a class trip. I was actually just down at the central offices down below, and mostly because I was filing a police report, and I'm sorry, a police report, and um, I was actually talking to the officer, Mr. Oh, hold on, Officer Sims, and he says that there's not a whole lot, that goes on around here. But you guys have a prison. What kind of people are locked up here? What have people done?
Are you here for visiting?
Yeah.
Do you have a person you're visiting?
No, I'm just here with my class.
So you're visiting me.
Yeah.
Right. Real quick. Most domes do not have anything more than your basic jail. Hold people overnight. When people break the law and don't get exiled, they get kept here. Could be a variety of reasons why. Ask your teacher.
Oh, okay. um, can we talk to some people?
That is a highly unorthodox request. Absolutely not. These are visiting if you have someone to contact specifically.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
All right. But
Android. I recognize you from somewhere.
Not that I can recall.
All right.
As I'm talking to her, I am kind of taking a look around the area, see if there's any like little hatch, maybe like vents or whatnot that could be crawled into.
Perceptify.
That is an 11. God, spoop it.
No. No obvious aperture in. It does look like a pretty controlled area. Can I get you a roll sense motive too? You specifically, Miller.
Sure.
And zero as well. Please roll sense motive. Brawl. I've seen enough of your roll.
Oh, D20. Are you gonna roll? I hit the D20. Roll it, gut. Mother trucker.
0. Are you having any better luck?
Oh, 10.
10. Nope. 8.
Never mind.
We just roll so well as a group.
All this great information to divulge, and you guys are you're really killing me here.
Well, I don't have sense motive, so.
No, it's fine. All right, you guys have done your exploration here. What's next for you guys for exploring?
I know the next time we get in the elevator, I am not riding down with them because Brawl still has the Doshko in that tiny little elevator.
Could I have everyone take their headphones off? I'll message in the chat when you guys can come back. Mike, keep your headphones on, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Brawl used the elevator. No issues there. When you put your finger to it, no photo is taken. You get a blank black screen. You get the 0. Your digit appears. You would have access to the records area. You have access to any area that is related to security in the military. The militaries did have offices that weren't even listed when Brawl put his finger on it, and they're at the very top floor. You would have access to that. And you know specifically that this is due to your background, where before you joined the military academy, I think Chris just really hurt himself. You do have access. You had a relationship with the military as like a covert operative, mostly a spy, maybe sometimes something darker. We'll kind of go into your backstory later, but definitely because of your history with the Border Space Union military, that doesn't appear to have been shut off when you got expelled from the academy. You have access to these floors. I assume you're just going down to the bottom, though?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to be using it for anything because obviously it's linked to me.
Exactly so. All right. And I'm going to have the other guys come on back.
I'm back. It's me.
Chris, are you okay?
My eyes hurt.
That looked awful.
It was awful.
What?
Okay. He did like the goggle slap on his face.
Right in my eyes.
Wow. Android's getting all the private time today, huh?
Oh yes, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't really realize that androids are clearly superior. So Zero, his elevator arrives down at the bottom of the tower. Brawl, Miller, who touches the elevator button?
I'm making Brawl do it again.
Perfect. Brawl, a new picture is taken.
Okay.
And you go. I'm assuming you're going down to the bottom of the tower.
Yes.
Okay. You guys arrive down at the exit. There's other people like getting into the elevators, going up and down. It doesn't seem to be too much of an issue that they're commonly used. Right now, I'm probably looking at your investigations. Probably doesn't have too many other windows to go. I assume you guys would kind of want to get back in touch with Rye and Seeker to see how they're doing. It is coming close to the end of the day. Definitely the tint of the dome starting to get darker to represent artificial nighttime. Is there anything you guys want to do before you connect back with the party?
No, that was always our intention.
Right.
What the hell? Who's what? Oh, God, don't do that. Pat,
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't see
I
Chris.
didn't either. I was like, wait a
Who's
second.
saying that? You're being over your comm unit, and I'll say you guys are outside of the mansion and whatever you're doing. Miller has pinged you.
We've been pinged.
I
You got a
pinged
phone
it.
call.
Seeker speaking.
There we go.
Communications.
Hey, Sika. All right. Well, I guess I'm talking to you then.
Oh, Miller, it's lovely to talk to you.
I have
Right
my
back at
comm
you,
unit turned down, and I'm still going over the history of the statue with Seeker, and I'm like, why is he asking? This isn't.
Where you guys
Ryan's
at?
just telling me this wonderful story about his homeworld. It's really boring, but I'm still listening to it anyways.
I'm sure it's extremely boring.
But
Let's
it's so wonderful. I do enjoy it.
All right. Well, let's meet up. Where are you guys at?
We're still in a mansion, right?
You just
That's
left.
Oh, we
awesome.
left.
Did you steal anything?
No.
Oh.
No.
All right. All right.
I sat and watched as Rye and this other Lashunta lady just stared at each other for about an hour.
Hey,
It was
Sika.
the most awkward thing I've ever done.
You know Lashunta, telepathic, my dude?
Yeah, I know that,
Oh, all right.
but I couldn't hear it.
Oh.
So I just stood
Wait.
there for an hour,
They
smiling.
didn't include you on it? That's pretty rude of them.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go meet up and we'll talk.
We did secure a hall pass. Wait, no, actually, I don't know that. Never mind. Take that back.
No.
I
I'd
did.
say Rye probably covered that.
I would have told you that. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunate. Did you tell me that you signed it to Reich Oren LLC?
LLC.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it will work, but we have one.
It'll work. It'll work.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that once we get in person. We got to figure out where we're staying the night. I'm sure there's hotels or something, maybe.
At cost, I do not have the list of costs for hotel rooms. There is like a standard for Absalom Station, and it's going to be the same.
All right. I'll look it up.
I don't know if that's even the mail. That actually might be in one of the Adventure Path books I was stealing it from. I will say there is rooms for as cheap as like 1 credit, but those are like sleep pods. Think like Tokyo hotels where you like slide into an area and like that's just like your little cube. And then there's also like you can go. We'll say I'll give some arbitrary limits. Let's go for that. 5 credits will get you like your really standard like motel room. 10 credits gets you a hotel room with 2 beds, and 10, 15, 20 credits you can get significantly fancier rooms because Central definitely caters to that. I will say any hotel that you're going for that's going to cost in the 10 to 15 credit is actually in Central Tower.
I don't think that we've dispersed any of those credits yet.
I neither know nor care.
What credits are you talking about?
Yeah.
What credits?
Yeah. Oh
Man,
no.
this is going to be a
I'm
fun
aware
crew to
there are
work with.
credits owed. I am very aware that there are credits owed.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm fairly certain
All right,
Miller
well,
is also aware.
Let's just all right. So because of time, let's just arbitrary pick a
Let's meet at
credit
Central
one
Cafe.
No, 20 credit one at the Central Tower.
Sounds good
You
to me.
could get into one. Let's say 15 credits would be fine.
15 credit
Across the
one
street
at the
from,
Central Tower. Where we're at right now. Well,
That
Virgin
will room
Delights.
all of us.
Oh no! Everyone's dropping 15 credits.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
Okay.
Okay, I will remove 15 credits from my 39 credits, but I expect to get some goddamn credits.
You're gonna get some credit for the hall pass that you just got for us.
All
Zero
right,
claps.
so you guys find some lodging. You guys have like immediately the hotel access is keyed to your thumbprint or however print you use. You're taken up. It's a inside of the tower. It's a modern hotel. It's not anything super fancy, but it's got a lot of rooms, which is why it is housed in the tower. The tower does not. It's the biggest structure. Everything else seems to be more like a residence, so that's why the bigger hotel is in here. I will say that let me take a quick look. Let's see, who do we have left? Right. So is there room allocation? Are you guys all getting your own individual rooms?
I mean, what?
I'd be
Yeah.
more cost efficient than I would be caring about my own personal space.
I care about my own personal space.
For a, by the
I
way,
don't mind sharing the room, would not share a bed.
lodgings are a suite with 1 to 2 beds is 5 credits per night. A suite with 3 or 4 beds is 10 per night per bed.
Okay, so it's a suite. Perfect. I'll follow that. Thank you for finding that, Justin. So I'll say you guys did
Merc.
for the tower. I'll say they have like an additional like tax, so 15 is what we'll put it at. But it'll be a suite, and so that's fine. And
That's pretty sweet.
I guess that would be like that's a party fee of 15 creds. Okay, that's fine. Let's do the party fee. So you guys will figure out who actually paid the.
I mean,
bed.
it's three creds per 3 creds per person. Done.
Is that what it is, or is it 15 credits per bed, Justin?
Oh
Okay,
my
so
god,
we have
we'll figure that out
different
later.
things. Efficiency is 3 per night.
Yeah.
Sleep pod is 1 per night.
Uh-huh.
A suite with 1 to 2 beds is 5 per night per bed, and a suite with 3 or 4 beds is 10 per night per bed.
Okay, we'll stick
So
with the
just-
15.
I mean,
it
it's-
is.
yeah.
It'll be important later. We'll stick with the 15.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna
Okay,
get
so-
the nicer one in the tower. And in terms of the rooms, you guys all receive different personal messages. I will say that we'll do that kind of in chat, and if you guys want to talk about it later. But each and every one of you gets a different ping on their data pad. And in terms of the ones that are probably more relevant to the group, Rye, you get one that's kind of harmless, and it is from your lady Lashunta friend, and it is like her personal schedule.
Ooh.
Miller, you got a contact from Sal.
Cool.
He's got a job for you this weekend. It is only second day, going into third day, but he's got a job for you this weekend. It would be like work, it'd like be a profession check.
Sure.
Brawl, you got an invitation to like it's kind of like a. It's not really specific as to what it is, but it is. It says come to Central Cafe basement. It wants you there at 9 the following night, and it says bring your fists.
Fight Club.
I think I can
0.
manage that.
0, you've got a ping that just simply says movements acknowledged. It just says it's updated to your position. Like whoever sent it is acknowledging that you've been moving around. Have I missed anyone? Seeker, you get a ping, and it is also Rise Lashunta's friend's schedule.
I don't know why I need this.
And with that,
You're my little buddy.
I will say you were not CC'd on Rise email. It's strictly to you. I'm going to say for our viewers, we're going to wrap it up here and go into the after party. But before that, I just want you guys to remember, never split the party.
Yeah,
Patrick.
Justin.
Yeah, Pat.
Oh, some of
I'll
us
take
did.
that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I just rolled my eyes because I assumed it was all me, but no, this time it wasn't.
But I do have to
Oh, yeah.
bounce.